This is Reg Miller with Propertyrush. I'm here with buy-to-let client Darin Welfare. I met Darin through a referral through a colleague of his back in 2009. He became a member of Propertyrush in 2010, and we eventually managed to buy him a property in 2011. But I'll let him tell you about that. Darin, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Surrey. So
Okay.
I live there with my family, 2 children, 2 girls. I work for an American software company. I run one of their businesses around Europe. So I spend a lot of my time out of the UK.
Okay.
And moving around.
Okay. When we first started talking, prior to that, was property something that was on your mind, or was it through the referral as such that kind of alerted you to this?
I think properties has always had already been something that I was interested in or aware of from an investment point of view.
That was the thing in Brazil, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I had another home there,
Okay.
and I have a property that I have a share of with other investors.
Okay.
So the interest was already there.
Right. Okay. In general, how did you find the process? What did we actually do for you?
Well, that's a good question. So the process was lengthy,
Okay.
and that was by circumstances really. So I think once we had started and together we determined that we were going to look for a property. Actually, it all seemed to start very well. We found one, it
Yep.
looked good, and then I think we got gazumped on that one.
We did.
But it was the right decision.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Not to push. I think we then found a second one, and that actually started going through the process. And for me, the process was actually very easy. But then that one fell through as well. So it's an interesting question because it was frustrating, but actually a lot of the process was something I was just on the journey, and Propertyrush were managing that. So it's interesting. So eventually we did find a third property, and that started off exceedingly well. We thought, great, we're gonna close this one, and it just went on for an extended period of time. The circumstances of the owners was complex.
I remember it well.
So I think it was pretty painful.
Well, I mean, personally, did you have to do anything, or was it just the sheer frustration that it had taken that long?
Yeah, and I think this is the point. It was painful in that it was frustrating because I was eager to secure something.
Yeah.
But in fact, if I'd been going through that process myself and managing it, then I would never have got as far as number 3, let alone close number 3. So actually, relatively speaking, it was good for me.
Okay, that's good to hear. How many properties have you signed up to buy in total?
Well, we have one at the moment,
Yeah.
and the intention is to secure up to 10 rental properties.
That's good. And how do you feel about that now you've been through the first one as such?
Well, finally pleased that we've now got one off the ground, and that's exciting.
Okay.
And we have tenants in there.
Yeah.
Whilst I've not met them or been to the home, I know that's going well. And so I think that has stimulated the enthusiasm to move on to the next step as soon as that becomes appropriate.
Okay. And with that, your understanding of it is, will you have to find any more capital to do so, or?
No, I don't anticipate that. The property that we bought, we've invested some capital into refurbishing that and bringing that up to a good standard. We had tenants as well secured before they moved in, which was really good. And I would expect to be able to take essentially get the equity that's growing in that, take that out, and that will be able to use to leverage and buy the second. So I wouldn't anticipate spending that much, if anything.
Okay. Just to clarify in terms of that, again, the process that we helped you in terms of refurbishing the property and letting it out, how did you find that?
Well, it was great. I mean, funny enough, I was travelling a lot of that time.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have been there to see it. But I was Propertyrush provided me with some good videos and pictures, and that kept me up to date with what was going on. And certainly from what I saw, the end result was great, and it was a complete transformation.
In its entirety, perhaps. Is this something that you feel that you could recommend to other people in the future?
Yes, I would, because I think the key thing is that I'm sure there are a lot of people like me that do have an investment interest in property, and probably believe that that's worthwhile for the future. But if you're as busy as I am, the problem is, how do you kind of make that first step? And whilst maybe I have some of the knowledge of how to do it, I just simply would not have the time to be able to focus on that. And certainly the experience of the three that I went through to get the one, then I just simply wouldn't have had the time or the patience or the energy, I think, to have proceeded. So for me, if the interest is there, but you don't have all of the knowledge and the time and even the expertise to know what you're doing, then the service is invaluable.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. Well, as I said, it's been a bit of a time. It's taken a bit of a time to get to where we are finally. And as you said, it was a journey. And I'd like to thank you for bearing with us on that. And I look forward to providing you with more property as we move forward. And certainly this year we'll be doing so. So thank you very much, and thanks for participating.
No, not too. I'm looking forward to it.
Great.
Thanks, Raj.
Okay.